Hi everyone, my name is John Lexer C. Principe from Group 3. And now I will discuss about the Baroque arts in 1600s and Rococo arts in 1730s. So now, let's proceed. Art of Baroque period in 1600s to 1800s. The term Baroque was derived from the Portuguese word Barroco, which means irregularly shaped pearl or stone. Baroque developed in Europe around 1600s, and Baroque art aims to give an effect that wants to carry the viewers away with the force of its impact. In the 16th century, the Baroque style was carried by the Spanish and Portuguese to the Philippines. It influenced the Intramuros, the pre-colonial walled city of Manila. So now, let's proceed to the Baroque 16th to 17th century. Baroque considered the art of the Catholic Church and counter-reformations. The popularity of the Baroque styles was encouraged by the Catholic, which had decided at the Council of Trent, one of the Roman Catholic Church's most important clinical meeting, that the art should communicate religious times and direct emotional involvement in response to the Protestant Reformations. And this is the Baroque styles: painting, architecture, sculpture, music, literature, dance, regional variations. In painting, they use dramatic use of light and shadow to create intense contrast and sense of depth, and dynamic compositions with a lot of movement, often using diagonal lines and curves. And also emotionally charged subjects, frequently religious, methodological, and historical themes. And the last one is exaggerated facial expressions and bodily gestures to heighten drama. In architecture, there is grandiose scale with bold curving forms and lavish ornamentations, and also dramatic use of light through large windows, domes, and intricate designs. And for the sculpture, they use dynamic flowing forms that seem to move and interact with space, and highly detailed and realistic depictions of subjects, often in the mid-action or with expressive emotions. And also, they use religious or methodological subjects, often meant to inspire and pity. In music, they use highly ornamental with complex melodies and harmonies, and contrast between loud and soft dynamics, and use of basso continuo, emphasizing harmonic structure, and also elaborate and expressive compositions, often with virtuosic passages. And for the literature, they use often highly emotional and grand in scale with elaborate language and metaphors. And for the last style of Baroque is the regional variations. It is the Italian Baroque, dynamic and theatrical, often with intense emotional expressions. And now, let's proceed to the importance of Baroque art. The Baroque is a highly ornate and elaborate style of architecture, art and design that flourished in Europe in the 17th and first half of the 18th century. A defining characteristic of the Baroque style was the way in which the visual arts of painting, sculpture, and architecture were brought together into a complete whole to convey a single message or meaning. Baroque art and design address the viewer's senses directly, appealing to the emotions as well as the intellect. And also, Baroque is known for its movement and drama. Baroque influences extended from Italy and France to the rest of Europe, and then traveled via European colonial initiatives, trade, and missionary activity to Africa, Asia, and South and Central America. Its global spread saw Chinese carvers working in Indonesia, French silversmiths in Sweden, and Italian hardstone specialists in France. Sculpture was sent from the Philippines to Mexico and Spain. London made chairs went all over Europe and across the Atlantic. And French royal workshops turned out luxury products that were both designed and imitated by fashionable society across Europe. However, as a style, Baroque also changed as it crossed the world, being adapted to new needs and local tastes, materials, and contexts. And now let's proceed to Michelangelo Merisi or Amerigo da Caravaggio. He was better known as Caravaggio. He was an Italian artist who wanted to deviate from the classical masters of the Renaissance. Caravaggio's models at this period were either himself or young persons who have an air of being promising but weak. And one of the famous paint is the Conversion of Saint Paul. And the number 2 is Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Bernini was an Italian artist and the first Baroque artist. He practiced architecture and sculpture, painting, stage design, and was also a playwright. He was the greatest Baroque sculptor and architect, as is in his design of the Piazza San Pietro on front of Basilica. It is one of the most innovative and successful architecture designs. And one of the famous Baroque artwork that Gian Lorenzo Bernini made is the Ecstasy of Saint Teresa. And now let's proceed. And he is Peter Paul Rubens. Rubens was a Flemish Baroque painter. He was well known for his paintings of mythical and figurative subjects, landscape, portraits, and counter-reformations, altar pieces. His commissions were mostly religious subjects, history paintings of magical creatures, and hand scenes. And one of his famous Baroque artwork is the Rape of Daughter Lysippus.